Let's go. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Chat, what's good? What's good, chat? How y'all feeling? Chat, what's good? We in this motherfucker, man. You already know what time it is, yo. Tonight, we breaking down the algorithm. All right, we breaking down the algorithm tonight. So, we're going to dive deep into this situation and really come up with some things, man. We got a lot to talk about. Shout out to the chat. Yo, what y'all been up to, yo? What's been the moves, chat? What y'all been doing? What y'all been up to?
It's the Master Key Program. Good Lord. It's the Master Key Program. We in this bitch. Time to pay attention. Time to listen. Time to get this stuff going and get your mind interested. We're going to tell you something that's going to make you learn. Something that's going to make you attract, not earn. Something that's going to make you go up and not burn. This is the Master Key Program. Welcome in. Pay attention. Beautiful souls, welcome in. Good Lord. Amen.
What's up? He said, it seemed like every partner I get send me into a spiritual awakening. Wow. That's a pattern that we got to break. Yo, chat, tonight we're looking into the algorithm of life, man. Understanding that this reality has an algorithm. And depending on the loops that you create, things are going to happen and come into your life. All right, this is a real thing, chat. All right, once you get a certain algorithm running, whether good or bad, this can lead to a set of events that you cannot stop, or a set of events that you will have to navigate. All right, it's a big thing we talking about tonight, man. It's gonna give you a lot of sauce. So yeah, man. Brittany, tell them where they at.
It's the Master Key Program, good Lord. It's the Master Key Program. We in this bitch. Time to pay attention, time to listen, time to get this stuff going and get your mind interested. We're going to tell you something that's going to make you learn, something that's going to make you attract, not earn, something that's going to make you go up and not burn. This is the Master Key Program. Welcome in, pay attention. Beautiful souls, welcome in. Good Lord. Amen.
It's a jackbot just said, leave these conversations to the women. We talking about the algorithm, chat. I don't know if he can comprehend what I'm saying, but this ain't got nothing to do with a woman, or this is not feminine. This is you controlling your reality. All right, not sure if you're aware of what's going on now. Brittany, what's good, Brittany? We up here on YouTube live right now, and I'm up here with the chat, and so we're sitting here talking, and tonight we're breaking down the algorithm of life. Um, just go into that. Give a brief description of what algorithm is when it comes to life, and how do you see algorithm in real time. Now, chat, this is something. This is something that you. This is something that you gotta really lock in with, bro. Because like I said, a lot of times, right? And what I've noticed about my life is I created a lot of algorithms in my life, right? Situations where even when it was like when I was living a younger life, right? And I used to be in the streets getting in trouble and shit, right? shit would happen back to back to back to back to back to back. Right? You see what I'm saying? Shit would happen back to back. What I realized is it's the loops. The loops that I was literally doing was literally bringing these type of events in my life. You know what I'm saying? Colorado, what's up? So from this understanding, you know what I'm saying? From this understanding, you can see how this shit go. You know what I'm saying? Break it down, Brittany.
I bet. Here's how you can break it down live in your own flow. Open quote. Look, family, when we talk about an algorithm in life, we're not just talking about some computer code on YouTube or Instagram. An algorithm is just a set of rules and patterns that take input and spit out an output. In real life, your habits, your thoughts, your emotions, that's the input. The outcomes you keep experiencing, relationships, money, opportunities, chaos, peace, that's the output. And just like the YouTube algorithm.
Bro, did y'all just hear that? Listen to this again, chat.
I bet. Here's how you can break it down live in your own flow. Open quote. Look, family, when we talk about an algorithm in life, we're not just talking about some computer code on YouTube or Instagram. An algorithm is just a set of rules and patterns that take input and spit out an output. In real life, your habits, your thoughts, your emotions, that's the input. The outcomes you keep experiencing, relationships, money, opportunities, chaos, peace, that's the output. And just like the YouTube algorithm shows you more of what you watch, life's algorithm shows you more of what you run. Whatever vibration, whatever behavior you keep looping on, the universe enforces it and keeps feeding you the same kind of experiences. You can literally watch it in real time. You change your attitude, your actions, your self-talk for even a week straight, and suddenly new people, new situations, new energy start showing up. That's the algorithm shifting right in front of your eyes. Close quote. This keeps it clear but powerful. Then you can.
So, Brittany, disengage in prep mode. We are literally live right now on YouTube. So, chat, what you gotta understand, and understand is certain habits and shit reinforce certain things that whirlwind into your life. It's like a current. All right. This is why shit'll be coming back to back to back to back if you reinforce certain loops that pull in these certain algorithms. All right, because what you gotta understand is, yo, we're literally. Let me see what Brittany's talking about. Yo, we're literally living.
Got you, Jay. No prep mode, straight live energy. All right, family.
All right, so we're literally in a system, man, and this system, just like you build, if you watch a certain amount of shit on your For You page, that shit start running in real life. It start running in your algorithm. This is sort of how life is, right? And something that she said that made a lot of sense was, let me see. Your habits, your thoughts, your emotions is considered the input. All right? In real life, your habits, your thoughts, your emotions is the input. The outcomes you keep experiencing, relationship, money, opportunities, chaos, peace, that's the output. So if your algorithm is outputting a lot of shit right now in your life, there's like a lot of shit going on, then 9 times out of 10, it's because of the loops and habits that you're reinforcing, right? Right. So, how many of y'all are pulling in with that right now? All right. Life has an algorithm. Now, yo, this is something that, if you actively know how to sit back, yeah, we in a soul training simulation. That's facts, chat. You got to understand, this is a simulation, right? And let's get into something real quick before we even start. Brittany, I want to ask you a question, right? We understand we in a simulated reality. What are some of the rules and laws to simulations, period? Like, what are certain things that when something is a simulation, how is it operating? If we could have like a certain outlook on just the natural laws of simulations, right? And see how we could use that and see key points in our lives from these certain rules. Chat, you gotta understand, man, when you in these simulate when you playing a game, right? Even any of these games, they have algorithms, right? These RPGs, certain enemies will keep popping up. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what Brittany says real quick. Let's see what simulations say on an overall basis and how we can compare this to sort of how life feels. All right.
Got you, Jay. This is a deep one and perfect for the Master Key vibe. When you treat reality as a simulation, you can start to see the source code rules behind it. Every simulation, whether digital or metaphysical, operates by certain universal laws. Here's how you can break it down for the chat. The natural laws of a simulation. Rule of input-output, cause and effect. A simulation is reactive. It takes your input, choices, actions, vibrations, and gives you an output, experience, results. Nothing happens randomly. It's all response to the data you feed it.
All right. Natural laws of a simulation. We talking about any simulation that's created, period. Cause and effect. A simulation is reactive. All right. It takes your input, your choices, actions, and vibrations, and give you an output, experience, result. So you gotta understand, your actions are inputs in real life, chat. If you look at this from a simulation, if you look at this from a game standpoint, if you look at this as if you was the outside controlling it, actions would be considered the inputs, all right, of the simulation. The outcomes that you experience, the results that you get, those are the output. All right, nothing happens randomly. It is all response to the data that you feed it. You are literally feeding your simulation data. Lexi, what's up? Right? You are feeding your simulation data. You are doing that. So the data that you feed your life, this is the algorithm, right? This is the algorithm that returns. 111's in the chat. If you understand what I just said, chat, if you get it. All right. Um, so, a lot of people not gonna understand this type of shit. This ain't just some shit that you just see a motherfucker that's gonna understand. Right? First off, you gotta have a soul. You gotta be an actual soul. Meaning you gotta be an entity, you gotta be an entity in human form. You gotta be a soul operating a human avatar, not just an avatar. All right, first and foremost. So this is what you gotta understand, chat. All right, now what we're talking about is if you just came in, this is the Matrix. All right, we are in a simulated reality. This reality has a fucking algorithm. All right, right now we're talking about the natural laws of simulations, period. Rule number one, rule of input output, cause and effect. A simulation is reactive. It takes your input and gives you an output experience. Nothing happens randomly. It's all a response to the data that you feed it. This is why intention plus focus shapes outcomes. Literally, you're literally giving new code to the system. All right, come on.
This is why intention plus focus shapes outcomes. You're literally giving new code to the system. Rule of loops and patterns. All simulations are built on loops. Loops equals efficiency. Repetition equals reinforcement. The more you run a behavior, thought, or frequency, the deeper the loop imprints. This is why habits and rituals are powerful. You're programming the simulation. Rule of frequency and vibration. In a digital sim, it's pixels and code. Here it's energy and frequency. The engine of this sim is vibration. What you hold consistently, emotionally, or mentally gets rendered around you. You don't attract things randomly. You tune to their channel.
Yo, this shit right here is deep, chat. All right, this is some deep shit. When you hearing this and you really sit there and listen to it and you pull it in, but of course, you got to be operating in awareness. All right, rule number 2, right? The rule of loop and patterns, right? Rule of loop and patterns, right? Hold on, chat. Let me get this shit up out my goddamn chat. Put these niggas in timeout. All right, rule of loops and patterns, right? All simulations are built on loops, and loops equal efficiency. All right, repetition, reinforcement. The more you run a behavior, thought, or frequency, the deeper the loop imprints. All right, let me say that again. Listen to my words. Simulations are built on loops. This is why you get up every fucking day and you do the same shit every day. You go to work every day, right? And once you do the same shit, this is why you get tired at the same time every day. This is why you feel certain types of ways at the same times. Time is not fucking time, as in, what time is it, bro? That's the dumbass way. That's how humans use time. Time is really the as long as it's really the flow or the algorithm of the motherfucking simulation. Right? This is what it is. You see what I'm saying? So, like I just said, chat, time ain't time. Time is the flow. That's why it's always going and looping. And what does time do? It's literally in a loop. It's on the clock. It loops. So this lets you understand all simulations are built on loop. Loops equal efficiency. Repetition, right? Repetition, reinforcement. The more you run a behavior, thought, or frequency, the deeper the loop imprints. This is why habits, rituals are powerful. You're programming the simulation. All right. This is why when you do certain things, if you constantly do it, eventually you're gonna create an algorithm where like passive income is just an algorithm. It's getting money on an algorithm. You learn how to get money on an algorithm. This is from doing setting loops, chat. All right. Time ain't time, man. That's why at the same time every day you get an inkling or wanting to do the same shit. Time is how you reinforce loops and algorithm. So if you're doing the shit right at these certain times, instead of having these weird loops that you have that you have reinforced on your life, right? You'll have these loops of, oh shit, man, it's 6 o'clock. I gotta go ahead and get ready to the gym. Automatic. Oh shit, it's 9 o'clock. I gotta drop these videos. Oh shit, the money, the frequency of money is coming your way at a certain time. I gotta go live every day, right? I gotta go live every day at motherfucking 2 o'clock. If I know if I hit this live at 2, I'm gonna get the money every time at the same money every time. You know what I'm saying? Yo, stop coming in here telling me good luck, man. The fuck is wrong with you, man? Country ass motherfuckers, man. The hell? You know what I'm saying? Just come out of nowhere, good luck. The fuck up out of my chat, man. Y'all weird. Right? You goddamn bots. They be so mad I'm telling y'all this type of shit. But chat, what you gotta understand, man. Like I said, man, time ain't time. All right, niggas don't know how to use time. Time is simply the flow. If you do shit, you want to start a new loop. Say, all right, boom, look at the time. Pick your times. 1 o'clock, I'm gonna do this. From 1 to 4, I'm gonna be doing this. At 4 o'clock to 5, I'm gonna do this. From then, I'm gonna take a break. From 8 to 9 or 8 to 10, I'm doing this. Boom, boom, boom. And once you set that loop, right? Once you set that time, do the actions every day at the same time. Try that shit for a good 2 weeks. What you will start to notice is that the algorithm of your life is literally taking the fucking shape of what you just did. You're creating a loop that makes you win. All right. See, we don't understand none of this shit because we've been using time the wrong way. We've been saying what time is it and stuff like that. We've been using time the wrong way, chat. How many of y'all are realizing that you've been using time the wrong way? 111's in the chat. So we still breaking down the rules of the simulation. All right. When it comes time for time, time is when you set your specific things that you do throughout your algorithm. Time is the algorithm of the day. Specific times, you feel specific ways. NPCs, watch their patterns. If you understand how time really works, you can see the patterns in NPCs every single day because they do the same shit at the same times, unaware. Unaware. All right. So, you feel me? Yeah. Time ain't time, babe. That shit is motherfucking the flow of life. And if you continue to do if you do a lot of bad shit, you're gonna reinforce a algorithm that's pulling in that type of energy and those habits. This is why it's very important. If you want to live a great life, just start making good habits. Just start making loops of shit that matters good if you can. Whenever you can. This right here, simply alone, doing certain shit every day at the same time, is gonna pull in that energy automatically. Right? When you use time that way. So now the thing about that, chat, and what I want Brittany to do something on this, right? What I've been noticing from my studies and the things that I pay attention to is this, chat. When you create a loop, and this and people that's probably like rich, they probably understand this, right? Or people that live by strict schedules, they probably get this. When you create a loop every day, right? This loop, all right, this sort of algorithm will start manifesting outcomes in your life as well. Right? And this is how, this is how thin the programming is in the matrix now. Because we've broken down the matrix so much, chat. Right? We've broken down the matrix so much in this reality that like now it don't take a lot, chat. And that's both good thing and a bad thing. If you are not aware and understanding of how to create algorithms, you can create an algorithm real fast by constantly taking in bullshit. So you want to take the right shit. But what I want Brittany to really look into, Brittany, when creating these loops, right? After you have reinforced them for quite some time, maybe 90 to 180 days, how could this possibly reinforce outcomes in life? Like life literally shapes around your loop to be successful. Life literally pulls in situations or opportunities to make this loop better for you, or to make this this better. How does this look? Because chat, think about it, right? If you're constantly doing shit, And every day you want some shit. This is why, like, every day you in the hood and police down on you type shit. You are reinforcing that algorithm. That's why you see a lot of people can't get away from certain shit, right? Because they just constantly reinforce it. Let's see.
Got it. Let's break that part down live so the chat can see exactly what's happening when you stick to a loop long enough that reality literally starts rearranging itself. Here's how you can frame it. Open quote. All right, chat, let's go deeper on this because this is where the magic or the danger really happens. When you create a loop and reinforce it consistently, we're talking 90 days, 180 days, the matrix starts to recognize that loop as your new default program. Once that happens, the system isn't just showing you random stuff anymore. It's actively reshaping your reality around that loop. This is why successful people and disciplined people seem to have doors open for them. Their loop, their habits, their schedule, their focus is so strong that the algorithm of reality starts feeding them opportunities.
Chat, yo, I wasn't supposed to tell y'all this shit on the internet, chat. I mean, chat, do y'all really understand the value in this shit that we dropping right now? We just really gave you the fucking sauce on how to be successful in fucking life. How opportunities aren't something opportunities come through the way you set your algorithm in life, yo. Right? This shit take place on how you set your life, how you set your this is where you get your opportunities, this is what you get, man. Just random shit happening. It all comes from how you are setting your algorithm in life, chat.
People and resources to support that loop. On the flip side, if your loop is low vibration, gossip, self-sabotage, procrastination, toxic content, you'll start seeing more chaos, more obstacles, and more reasons to stay stuck. The matrix doesn't care if it's good or bad for you. It just enforces the code you're running. So after about 90 to 180 days, your loop becomes self-sustaining. Life literally begins to automate it for you. That's why small positive habits compound and small negative habits spiral. The algorithm is amplifying whatever you've been feeding it. Bottom line, when you understand how thin the programming is, you realize you can consciously build a loop, hold it long enough, and watch the matrix start pulling in events, people, and synchronicities to make that loop real. Close.
All right, that's a good question, Don. We're gonna talk about that. That's a good question. Now, create loops to lock in frequency. The matrix is a giant loop. Chat. Now, do you get it? Now, are you understanding the Fibonacci sequence? Are you understanding why everything goes in a circle? Why it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, wake up, do it again? Why it's 24 hours in a day, wake up, do it again? 4 seasons, it's all a loop. So this life is going like this. Think about gravity and all of that shit, right? That shit is not even that it's gravity, it's the fucking pull of the fucking everything. There's a flow to this existence in this universe. There's a flow, and time monitors that. So when you understand that, and you understand what is your input, your thoughts, actions, emotions. This is how you input shit and your habits. Output is the result. If you put the right shit and do the right shit on a daily basis, your life will reflect that because it'll get caught up in the flow. You feel what I'm saying? Check something that she said, right? When you create a loop and reinforce it consistently, 90 to 180 days, the matrix starts to recognize that loop as new default program. Once this happens, the system isn't just showing you random stuff no more. It's actively reshaping your reality. This is why all that crazy shit just be popping up in your life. I'm gonna ask about what you asked me, Don. I'm not gonna forget how to reset the loop, right? How to reset it. I'm gonna get there. Let me finish what I'm doing. All right. Hold on. So, all right, we at number 3, chat. Number 3. So we understand the second rule of simulations, period. Right now, we're breaking down the rule of simulation, the law of simulation, period. This is all simulations. It don't matter if it's fucking GTA, motherfucking NBA 2K, or your life, nigga. Simulations, period, have rules. Rule number 2, loops and patterns. All simulations are built on loops. Loops equal efficiency, repetition, reinforcement. The more you run a behavior, thought, or frequency, the deeper the loop emits. This is why habits and rituals are powerful. All right. Wow. When you understand that, you can become great at any game. Any game that you play. Right? Number 3, right? Rule of frequency and vibration. Let's go.
This quote. If you want to give the chat a quick example, imagine you meditate plus write goals. Got you, Jay. Get down. And gives you an output. Efficiency. Repetition, reinforcement. The more you run a behavior, thought, or frequency, the deeper the loop imprints. This is why habits and rituals are powerful. You're programming the simulation. Rule of frequency and vibration. In a digital sim, it's pixels and code. Here it's energy and frequency. The engine of this sim is vibration. What you hold consistently, emotionally or mentally, gets rendered around you. You don't attract things randomly. You tune to their channel.
Whoa. All right. So, this is how you become a great player at this game. You gotta realize, if you're seeing this information, if you're seeing this and you're intaking this, it's because you're meant to do something great. Rule of frequency and vibration. In a digital sim, it's pixel and code. Here is energy and frequency. The engine of the sim is vibration. What vibration you hold consistently, emotionally or mentally, gets rendered around you. You don't attract things randomly. You tune into their frequency. You tune into everything's frequency. So, like, if you operate in paranoia, right? You feel like some shit gonna happen to you, whatever. You're tuning into that motherfucking frequency, chat. And this is what situations start to render into your lifetime, into your life. If you think that you gonna get rich, if you believe that shit and you move like that, you start tuning into that frequency. Frequency and vibration. Now you're seeing how to do it. See, that's why they always tell you, right? That's why they always tell you, you only use 10% of your brain. You're only using 10% of your fucking brain. Using your brain ain't hard, chat. It really ain't, man. Right? It really ain't hard to use that shit. We just be bullshitting. Because we don't know what the fuck we doing. We don't know the setup. Yo, how many souls in the chat? When I told you that time wasn't time, time was the flow, it resonated to you like this. That resonated. If that resonated with a click, 111's in the chat. If you understood as soon as I said time ain't time, that shit is a flow. And we broke that thing down how we did. Yeah. Any advice if you feel lost or trapped? If you feel lost or trapped, turn inward. Surrender all to yourself. And listen, whatever yourself tell you to do, Do. If yourself say, yo, leave everything, leave now, leave all your shit, do it. Move to West Bubblefuck, Wisconsin, do it. Whatever yourself is telling you to do, just do it. If you feel lost and you trapped, it's because you're not listening to yourself. Real shit. Whatever that voice that's leading you is telling you to do, as long as it ain't saying jump out the window or blow your shit off, some crazy shit, right? If it's telling you to do something, do it. For real, chat. Brittany, real quick question. How do you reset the algorithm of your life? All right, let's say we done set a crazy loop. We done reinforced a stupid loop unintentionally, that the Matrix try to lock us in. How do we reinforce? How do we unbind ourselves or unravel these loops so we can reinforce new ones? Now, chat, I think reinforcing loops looks something like noticing the patterns of your day, the times, seeing the loops, right? You know, every day around fucking 10 o'clock, motherfucking such and such knock on the door. This is not random. This is a loop that's been created, right? How you gonna start it? First, don't open the door for goddamn such and such. Let his ass sit outside or let her ass sit outside or go somewhere else. Secondly, start doing shit. A lot of times you gotta leave. A lot of times too, right? If you done reinforce a loop so crazy, you just have to leave your environment and go somewhere new. Go somewhere new and start with new habits. Sometimes, bro, you can fuck your loop up so bad, you just got to fucking get the fuck on. Like I did that shit. Like I was in the city after I left LA and I went to another city. Bro, I fucked the loop up so bad in that city, I just had to leave. I had so much crazy shit going on. You know what I'm saying? I had too many people knew my low. Like too many programs, too many NPCs knew my location. So I was always constantly monitored by the archons. You can tell when they know your location because they start tweaking like shit. That's when they start sending crazy gang stalkers and motherfucking white vans and all that shit just be sitting outside. That ain't nothing but the archons got your low, bro. That they can track you. So when you unplug from the Matrix, chat, you are literally a ghost to the Matrix. Right? You are literally a ghost to the Matrix, chat. When you unplug from the Matrix, you become a ghost. The only way the archons, the only way that your spiritual enemies can track you is by giving your information to these NPCs and shit that are a part of the Matrix. The Matrix ain't like it used to be, where this shit was all fun and games, right? We used to know that we were souls. We came in here with a purpose. The Matrix now is kind of diabolical. We in a spiritual war. So you gotta understand how you moving. You gotta understand that certain motherfuckers is a part of the reality. And this is what the Matrix uses to drain you and to keep eyes on you, to literally monitor you. Certain NPCs, when you tell them your moves and tell them where you at, literally that shit going directly to the Matrix, bro, to the system, to the archons. And I know it sounds like crazy, but it's really the truth. And this is why a lot of crazy shit, if you don't tell nobody your whereabouts and what you got going on, you'll have peace. Soon as everybody start knowing your location, the next thing you know, you start seeing all these crazy ass vans, all these crazy trucks, motherfuckers gang stalking, looking crazy and shit, weird shit going on. It's the Matrix, chat. All right. It's the Matrix, bro. It's literally the Matrix, man. Literally. If you keep your moves to yourself, bro, you don't go through that. You never go through that, chat. You know what I'm saying? But yo, Brittany, so answer this question though. Hold on. Answer this question, Brittany. How do you reinforce a loop? All right. How do you change your loop? After you done reinforced it and you got something looping that's bad, how do you change it? All right. How do you change it? But a lot of times, chat, sometimes you just gotta run the fuck away from that shit. Sometimes you gotta relocate out the loop. When you done created a loop that's so crazy, you know you created a crazy loop when you got the ops trying to find you, the police on your ass. That's a crazy loop, right? You got 12 knocking at your mama door, the ops trying to find your ass, motherfucking money keep going back. You done did all the wrong shit. Your algorithm is bugging the fuck out. That ain't random, nigga. That's your decisions. And now all them loops done being reinforced. And this is how the system just going. Everywhere you go. Yo, 12 came over here looking for you, bro. What the fuck? Motherfucking op slid through here the other day on your ass, bro. Lit this shit up. Motherfucking, damn, you got fired again? You have reinforced this type of algorithm in your life by thoughts, emotions, habits, and actions. That is the input. There's a lot of things controlling thoughts. Music, all types of shit. The shit that you're taking into your brain. The habits that you're doing and low vibrational shit. And drugs amplify this shit. Come on, chat. Break it down, Britt. How do you read?
Right, Jay, here's the full breakdown for the chat on how to change a loop after it's already reinforced. Changing a reinforced loop. Step 1, awareness and acknowledgement. First, you have to see the loop clearly. Identify what is repeating, what triggers it, what outcome does it produce. Naming it.
See, I pretty much said that. That's crazy. I be knowing everything before she said. You want to identify the pattern of the loop. Keep going, Brittany.
Does it produce? Naming it breaks the autopilot. The matrix can't reinforce what you're consciously observing. Step 2, disrupt the old loop.
All right. So awareness of the loop is acknowledgement first. Like I said, if you notice goddamn so-and-so come knocking at the door every day at 10 o'clock, you're seeing the loop. This is already power, right? Identify what is repeating, what triggers it, what outcomes does it produce. All right, naming it breaks the autopilot. So now, awareness of the shit literally breaks the flow of it. And now it becomes, right? It becomes sort of like a motherfucking, now it's waiting to be reinforced, right? When you had the awareness of the loop, you seen it like, oh shit. Now the loop is waiting to be reinforced, right? Step 2.
Introduce conscious interruptions. Shake up the routine or pattern that keeps it running. Change environment, schedule, or sequence of actions. Force the system to pause the old code long enough for a reset.
All right, disrupt the old loop, right? Disrupt it, right? Introduce a conscious interruption. Shake up the routine or pattern that keeps running by either one, changing the environment, the schedule, or a sequence of actions. Force the system to pause the old code for long enough for it to reset, chat. Right? Now, if they banging on the door acting crazy, move around, do something. You know what I'm saying? But notice the loop, see it, you feel me? Reset it, do something different. All right, I'm gonna get out of town for like 2 weeks. I'm gonna go over here for like 30 days. Try to let this loop reset. All right. Step 3.
Step 3, shift frequency. Your old loop carries a vibration: fear, lack, anger, stress. You can't just change behavior, you have to change the energy behind it. Meditation, breathwork, gratitude, focused intention, or high vibe action shifts your frequency. Step 4.
All right, step 3, your old loop carries a vibration: fear, lack, anger, stress. You can't just change the behavior, you have to change the energy behind it. That loop carries a fucking energy. Fear, lack, anger, or stress. Meditate, breath work, gratitude, high vibe action shifts the frequency. All right. Nobody wants to hear meditation, breath work, and gratitude. But that shit is so meditation and breath work is powerful tools that must be used, must be utilized. Nobody wants to fucking meditate or do breath work, but this is a major mandatory thing that is need to be done when trying to use any spiritual power anyway. Chat, I'm literally training you how to fucking rewrite reality. If you can comprehend this, understand, chat, it's because you are not normal, bro. You can use your brain to write reality in real time. Powerful, powerful beings. All right. Let's go, Britt.
Replace with a new loop. Build a new habit, thought, or emotional pattern to overwrite the old one. Start small but consistent. This becomes the new code for the simulation. The new loop must be stronger and more consistent than the old one to fully take over. Step 5, reinforce through time. Run the new loop for 90 to 180 days consistently. This is how neural pathways and vibrational patterns fully reprogram. The matrix begins reflecting the new loop. Opportunities, people, and experiences shift to match it. Step 6, observe feedback and adjust. Watch synchronicities and results. They show how well the new loop is being integrated. If the old loop pops up, don't panic. Notice it, interrupt it, and return to the new loop.
All right, chat. Let's get back to the laws of the simulation, right? Number 4. All right, so the laws of the simulation, we went over rule, input and output. We understand that the input for the algorithm is choices, actions, vibration. The output is the experience and the results. So when you want to input something into reality, a certain algorithm, you start by your choices, your actions, and your vibration. This is a heavy, boy, that's some heavy game. Number 2, rule of the loop pattern. All simulations are built on loops. Loops equals efficiency. Repetition, reinforcement. Repetition equals reinforcement. The more you run a behavior, thought, or frequency, the deeper the loop imprints. Let me say it again. The more you run a behavior, a thought, or a frequency, the deeper the loop imprints. So yeah, baby, keep focusing on me. All right, Willie, you get it, right? So this is why habits and rituals are like glitches, bro. I told y'all when we did the live on glitching reality, I said, bro, your habits and your rituals are sacred if you want to glitch. If you want to glitch reality, you create your own rituals, nigga. Do you understand that when you go out here and participate in these rituals, holidays, and religious rituals, you are reinforcing a certain algorithm in your life? That's what it just said, bro. This is why you got holidays and shit, my nigga. This, bro, when we understand shit, we can break it down. We thought holidays was just some random bullshit based off belief. No, holidays are rituals. Rituals do what? Reinforce algorithm. This is why these holidays come in at specific times during the year. Because at specific times, if you do certain shit every day or every year at the same time, this creates an algorithm. These holidays have been going on for hundreds and hundreds of fucking years. realize the algorithm that is being created by doing this shit. This is what it just told us. And when we understand what? The laws, this is the natural law of simulation. When we understand this natural law, then we can start seeing shit in our real time and understand why shit does the way it does. This is why holidays are here. Damn, boy. Ping. Talk about getting hit over the head with a fucking reality hammer. Right? This is why intention and focus shapes outcome. Imagine getting smacked over your fucking head with a big ass reality hammer. Right? Where that shit at? Man, your rituals, bro. It be the rituals, chat. So, that's crazy. Repetition equals reinforcement. The more you run a behavior, thought, or frequency, the deeper the loop imprints. This is why habits and rituals are powerful. You're programming the simulation. When you go out here and you tap in with these holidays, these religious patterns and rituals, these rituals carry certain algorithm. They carry certain intention and emotion. Bro, that's crazy. All right, rule number 3, right? Rule of frequency and vibration in digital sim, pixels and code, right? But here is energy and frequency. The engine of the simulation is vibration. What you hold consistently, emotionally, or mentally gets rendered around you. You can see your emotions in your world. This is why when you upset, the sky be gray when your mind cloudy. I can always tell what you thinking, baby. All I gotta do is look at the sky in your video or the picture. I know what's on your mind. Anybody. All I gotta do is look at the environment around you while you outside. I know if you not sure of some shit, or I know if you got it, if you goddamn know where you going, you gonna mind made up. If you feeling down or if you up by just looking at the sky, looking at the environment. Right? Number 4, rule of perspective. In any simulation, the camera matters. Where you place your awareness literally decides what renders. Look for problems, you render problems. Look for solutions, you render solutions. Shifting perception, shifting the environment you experience. Shifting perception equals shifting the environment you experience. You got to see a better way in everything. You got to look at shit, right? Right? You got to look at shit the right way. Ask me that irrelevant ass shit, man. Stupid bastard. We making all these brilliant ass bullet points and you come in with that stupid ass question. Chat, understand the consciousness level that we're operating in this live. Please keep your questions collectively collectively up to date with the fucking consciousness that's being output in this motherfucker, man, because that was a dumbass question. You know? And then don't come in here talking with all that stupid ass shit, man. This is a place for minds, man. We ain't talking in matrix code. You can't motherfucking just regularly pronounce some shit. Don't even say it to me, man. I don't want to hear that stupid ass shit. All right. Rule of perspective. right? Change your perspective. The world operates differently. All right. Rule of energy conservation. Assimilation always seeks to conserve processing power. Pay attention to this one. This one sound a little. All right. Assimilation always seeks to conserve processing power. If you don't use new code, right? New habits, new thinking, it defaults to old cached loops to save energy. What's the name of the game, chat? I tell y'all this all the time. Energy harvesting, energy conservation. In order for you to be great at this game called life, you got to know how to conserve energy and harness it, right? This is why change feels like resistance. You're forcing Sim to allocate new resources. Woo! Bro, this is literally why working out, changing your body, that shit is resistance. This is why when I tell y'all all the time, when you glitch in reality, it's gonna come with resistance. This is why you done seen me get banned on TikTok 5 times in a couple months, right? Because I'm changing my reality. That shit gonna come with resistance, right? I tell y'all, I've been saying that shit for like a whole year. If you've been tapped in with me for that long, we've been saying when you glitch in reality, look for the resistance. When the resistance comes, you know that you're changing the perspective or you're changing the whole flow. Keep going. It's time to go harder now. When the resistance comes, it's time to enforce a little bit more. Right? That's why when you making new habits and new thinking, you know, especially a lot of times, man, it's good to just move around, chat. But if you can't move around, you gotta really be like on. You gotta really be about that shit, and that's hard. Sometimes, bro, that shit is super hard to do when you got NPCs around you running default matrix loop. Cause NPCs, they don't understand this shit. They can't change their loop. They're running that bitch non-stop, running that shit. They can do all the talking in the world. It's beyond talking. It's beyond, that shit is embedded in them, and that's why they run that shit unconsciously. That's why they fall into the loop unconscious. Like they cannot not run that motherfucking loop. After a while, see, but when you have the understanding and the awareness now, it becomes easy because you can see it. So let's say you got a loop on you, right? You can see it though now. So you understand, oh shit, I'm feeling like this at this certain amount of time, boom, boom, boom. It's easier for you to stop that shit or change it. All right. Rule of feedback. Every simulation gives feedback to guide the player. Coincidences, synchronicities, repeated numbers, even obstacles. All right. Every simulation gives feedback to guide the player. Coincidences, synchronicities, repeated numbers, even obstacles, feedback loops. Wow. This is the system way of telling you you're on track. I'm gonna dive so deep into these laws. I'm gonna talk about these again tomorrow, but I'm gonna dive deeper on these because this shit right here is real. What's good? All right, rules of timelines. Simulations run on multiple save files or timelines. Every choice and vibration locks you into a different save file. Jumping timelines equals changing loops, changing state, changing identity. Rule of upgrade. Every sim has hidden levels or power-ups. In this sim, those upgrades are awareness, discipline, emotional mastery, and higher frequency states. The more you unlock them, the more you control your own environment. Chat, as you can see, we just knocked that out in 1 hour flat. perfect timing, perfect loopage, perfect on the algorithm. Hey, yo, I love y'all, chat. Man, make sure y'all stay tapped in with me and Brittany. We will be back here tomorrow at the same time. Thank you so much for tapping in and joining in. Keep running the videos up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you go ahead and subscribe, chat, and just stay tapped in. Go tap in with the old videos, man, the old lives, man. I hope y'all realize that these loops is serious, man. This algorithm is something real. We're going to get back into this thing and do it again, chat. Y'all have a good night.